and we are in the Principality of Monaco. We are racing around the Principality of Monaco. So we have my fellow commentators with me, BlackSheep and no more pro player. So BlackSheep, what do you expect?
Hi, Masoom. I'm Griffiths. I think BlackSheep is not with us right now, so I'm just taking his place for now till he comes back and joins us. But looks like an amazing race. We look forward to an amazing race in Tier 2. We had a brilliant race yesterday in Monaco, right? In Tier 1. Surprisingly, no safety car. So, what are your expectations for today, Ninja?
Like, I really hope the race goes like yesterday. Fun and same time like the competitiveness between the drivers.
Yep, it hardly seems likely that it would be without a safety car, but I would be very surprised. Again the damage is reduced like yesterday, but I mean even with the damage reduced, the Monaco is very difficult. We'll jump straight onto the hot lap with Marinello Baby by commentary of Third World Prophet, just to get an insight of how the track is like.
In the crown of the Formula One calendar or the venue of the Monaco Grand Prix as we take you on a hot lap, entering Saint-Avold, 4th gear, narrowly missing the wall on the left, Maranello. Going through Beurevage, flat out, 7th gear already. As we enter Massenet and then try to get that exit out of Casino, it's important that you maintain a steady gear so that you don't overshoot and get a good speed through this section before you have to brake at Mirabeau. Maranello locking up really hard on the front right rather. Now this is the Grand Hotel hairpin or the slowest hairpin in the F1 calendar. It's so treacherously slow sometimes. As you exit through Portier and get your car into the tunnel section, flicking up the gears, important that you maintain as straight a line through this section as you can to get that max speed before you have to brake at the Nouvelle chicane. This is a very important overtaking zone for the fast cars as you exit out of the Nouvelle chicane and then get on to Tabac, turn 12. Now from this section till the swimming pool piscine, it's almost flat out. You've got to be really careful with the gears, taking maximum corner speed. Naranello kissing the wall on the right there, locking up hard through Raskas as you exit out into the start-finish straight. And Maranello shows us exactly how you do this treacherous hot lap across the Monaco Grand Prix circuit.
Wait. Yeah, guys, so that was an amazing hot lap by Maranello Baby. I mean, what a lap. We saw him dominating yesterday in Tier 1 race. That was, I mean, superb. What do you think, Masoom? Like, how that lap went?
I think that was one of the most beautiful laps I've seen in Monaco, and I think we also have a similar drivers. They're not up to the level, at this level, but there are a lot of drivers who have extremely high potential in Tier 2, and I think it'll be a really exciting race to watch, especially in terms of safety cars, VSCs, and the different strategies the various drivers can offer.
Yep, that definitely seems so. I hope our drivers are readying up by now. So I think that is a cue to ready up for them. And till that time they ready up, we will like just discuss. I have Black Sheep back with us now, so we'll just have him into the conversation. Black Sheep, you had I mean, you had a good, you are good at Monaco, right? You love Monaco, but you're on controller, so that's a part of challenge. You have. And yesterday you did not have best of the races. You finished outside top 10, but again, I mean, the pace was there again. So what do you think about Monaco as a circuit? Especially for Tier 2 guys who might not be as as experienced as if I can put it that way, as Tier 1 drivers.
Firstly, hi Griffiths, hi Masoom, and hi Ninja, and hi to everybody. Yeah, it's not the easiest of circuits, especially if you're on a controller. It's quite difficult to have some pace. I'm sure Masoom will attest to that, and so would Ninja, and probably Griffiths, you yourself. I guess you all have spent some time on controller at some time or the other on this game. Monaco probably the trickiest circuit of them all, as it is, but then becomes a little bit more difficult on the controller, especially to navigate through the twists and the turns, and making sure that you don't get the car into the wall. Yeah, it's difficult to get pace here. I think I did have pace yesterday, but it's just one of those tracks where it's almost impossible to get an overtake lined up. So if you don't have the track position, you might just end up where you've started, which is pretty much what happened to me yesterday.
Speaking of Monaco, there's also something very interesting that I saw a lot of drivers complain about was the performance of the systems, because there's a track with a lot of buildings on the side. I think a lot of drivers were not were having a very different experience with the game.
For sure. I mean, yesterday also. I mean, most of the things like many points you have to keep in mind when talking about qualifying at Monaco because we all know, and I mentioned it yesterday in yesterday's stream as well when I was commentating that qualifying in Monaco is absolutely essential. And Third World Prophet was with me who asked like if it's better to qualify on the harder medium tires or the soft tires, and I said immediately that you don't take the risk to qualify on medium tires. I mean, you would want the track position to be with you no matter what, and eventually by the end of the qualifying you'll notice that everyone is going on soft tires. So there's no benefit or advantage of qualifying on mediums because if you're slower, then either way you get the choice of starting on harder tires outside top 10. So that's one way to look at it, but I don't think there's any other, like, I mean, everyone would likely qualify on softs. What is your thought?
No, I absolutely
think-
agree. If ever there was a track where I think track position and qualifying was or superseded pace, advantage, or strategy, etc., it would have to be this one. Sorry, Masim, go ahead.
I think adding further to the point, because there's a high level of grip required in this track, I don't think it's even possible to set a competitive time around here on the mediums.
Yeah, I think mediums are about 1 to 1.2 seconds slower on a quali run compared to the softs here. So that could just mean front row to P1 to P10 in a tier 1, I guess, scenario.
Yep. So I think Captain Cheesecake is the first car out on the track to set a hot lap. Those drivers who are still in the pit, they have to make sure that they don't come out at that time when Captain Cheesecake and others following him start the hot lap. Because one more thing that I did mention, I mean, they like drivers did face yesterday was giving way to while being on an out lap or any lap, giving way to the faster cars. Those who are on hot lap. That is a big challenge here. I mean, you might as well just park your car on the outside. I think Maranello Baby did that yesterday. While 3 cars were on hot lap behind him, and he had to give way to them, he just parked where that controversial 2014 Rosberg thing happened. I forgot the corner's name, but yeah, that's where he parked his car for a good 10 seconds so that 3 cars could zoom past him on a hot lap. So that is one more challenge on this track.
And we have Cheesecake starting his hot lap right now. And he immediately hits the outside wall going to into the center board. You have Thermo who's on the mediums, but I'm not sure if he's actually hitting a hot lap or if he's just doing some banker runs. Used to the track.
Getting the feel of it, yeah. He's just probably getting the feel of it.
Yep.
He might want to save an extra set of soft tires, probably. I mean, because anyway, he's gonna go on a newer set of softs. I'm not sure if going on mediums and having a banker lap on mediums is going to. I mean, does that BlackSheep? Do you have any idea about that? That if he sets if he just does a banker lap on mediums, comes back to the pits, puts on a softs, is he saving an extra set of softs by doing that for the race? Does that count?
No, I think he's chosen balanced tires anyway, which is why he would have had a set of mediums for the qualifying. But if you select softer tires, then you just get more pair of soft tires anyway. So it's not like he would be saving any mediums. The one thing you do get with balanced tires is that you get an extra set of mediums for the race. But then again, if you're getting a hard tire and a medium anyway, I'm not sure if he would need another set of mediums for the race. It's a simple one-stop.
I think I would ask the question in a different way. Like, what I wanted to ask was that if he used 2 sets of softs in qualifying, like he wears out 2 sets of softs, and if someone is there who wears just 1 set of softs, right? Does that have to do anything with the race, or not at all? Like,
yes, I mean, so it does take away a set of your softs, but then if you select, what I was trying to say, if you've chosen to go with softer tires anyway, then you get that extra set of softs back anyway.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you always end up with the same number of softs.
Not regarding the mediums. My question was mostly focused towards softs. That you're doing your banker lap on softs, okay, and then you come back into the pits. You use a new set of softs. So you use 2 sets of softs in the qualifying. But anyway, Faizan has left the session. Maybe some. I believe he was the host. Was he the host? No, I don't think he's the host. So I think that won't affect the lobby. Yeah, that shouldn't. Yeah, I don't think that should affect the lobby, but he will be back with us. We have Harry Rocks on a hot lap. Ninja, can you quickly have the lap data telemetry on so that we can see the times that he's doing right now?
Oh, and we have a massive crash. Oh, and I don't know what he's doing, Nathan.
He's trying to get a 3-point turn in, and The at Raskas. It reminds me of Shalak, but okay.
Yeah. And I think something else I want to point out is that this is a relatively short track, so it might be possible for someone to get 4 laps in.
Yep. So the lap times are shorter, so but the qualifying time is fixed, so you can get more lap time. Yeah, you can get more laps in,
Yep.
but again, it comes down to how less you want to use your tires, because these are, if you're finishing in top 10, then these are your qualifying tires which you're taking up into the race at the race start. Speaking about that, one of the McLarens is out, so I'm not sure if it's Faizan.
I think Faizan hasn't joined yet, so I believe it's a McLaren of Rambo.
Yeah, it might be
Uh,
Rambo.
I mean,
I didn't.
he has shown slivers of good pace, but I don't think he has shown the consistency required to to basically get to charge at the front basically. And we have someone who has joined called Turk. I don't think he is part of IRC.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and we have the lap data
Yeah,
telemetry right now.
it does require. Yeah, we actually, yeah, guys. So, yeah. So, excuse us for the delay. We are just getting the telemetry up and running. There was some issue with that, so we'll just get that telemetry up and running. But yeah. So another thing is that about the, yeah, we have the telemetry now. So Rambo is on a hot lap in sector 2. Or is it sector 3? Sorry, it's sector 3 going through Raskas, takes the inside line, does not hit the wall and comes back into the pits. So I think he was losing time there and he decides to come into the pits. Meanwhile, Shalak in sector 2 takes like center line, I think, goes into the tunnel, hits about, I think he would hit about 240 or 230.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's lap yet because his ERS is turned down.
Yeah, I think he's on an outlap then.
We have Vinay who's also starting his lap. Interesting to see that we're nearly halfway into the session, but nearly most of the grid has not set their laps yet.
Yeah, even Vinay is not using the ERS. I mean, his ERS is 100%. Not
Yeah.
sure about that
Yeah,
part. Faizan gives him the way, but I'm not sure about the ERS thing. You guys raced yesterday, so I mean, not so awesome, but BlackSheep, you did race yesterday. So how's the ERS consumption on this track? Like, are you able to preserve it? Unlike when you talk about tracks like Zandvoort, where you're not able to preserve your ERS for the race. But how about this track? Like, can you use it for the whole duration of the lap, or what's the situation regarding ERS?
It's very tricky, as is the case with most laps on this game. I mean, if you deplete your ERS on one overtake or following one car at an instance, it's almost impossible to get that back in the rest of the race. So say you go down to 30 or 20% after depleting, following a car for a couple of laps, and you're almost always going to stay at least about 20-30%. It's very, very unlikely to go back up.
And we saw
Not accurate, not quite correct, to be honest, because this is a track where I think you'll get a lot of ERS stored instead of getting depleted.
I think
True.
I think part of the issue is because this track doesn't have extremely hard braking zones available, and we saw that again among this, Abhi 17 has moved to P2, and I think he definitely can do a time within the high 110s, given that in coming into sector 3 he hit the walls multiple times. Yep.
Yeah. So one more graphic that we don't have right now is about the damage, because I really wanted to see some of the drivers, because Monaco is one track where you want to know what damage the driver has at that point, because in most cases, even if you have some clip, your front wing, front end plate clips up, you still end up just continuing, because that pit stop will cost you a lot, and you might end up losing your wing again. So this is one more thing that I'm looking forward to. But we will have that telemetry running if possible. Our team is working on that.
Ninja, can you just refresh the tire wear telemetry? The OBS should bring it up.
Yes, actually I was working on it. I'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
We're on board with Don right now, and he started a lap, but his ERS is set to 0.
Yep.
So
Vinay also retired from the session. I'm not sure what happened there. He has not set any lap time as far as I know Yup, he did not set any lap time. I think he just went into the wall and lost the tire, lost the
Yeah.
suspension.
Yeah, I think he lost it in the end of sector
We
2.
have the tire damage telemetry back up and running. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, right, Don is still going on for a lap or whatever. I think he's on an out lap, but he has front right damage. As far as I can see on the front wing, so he'll just come back into the pits and get the repairs done. Speedless meanwhile going 1:10.4. That is around 6 tenths faster than the fastest, like the second fastest guy, who is Piyush Gandhi. Another guy on a hot lap. Is Harry on a hot lap? No, he's not. I think he's on an
I
out lap.
think
He's on a
Charlotte
lap.
is on a lap.
Yep. So
Yeah.
can we head over to guys who are on hot lap? We'll quickly see what times they're doing now that we have the telemetry up and running. So Rambo is on a hot lap. He set the green first sector. Going in, getting the way. Okay, that's very lucky to get the way. You know, when you're in qualifying, slow car stopping by. Here comes the Tabak corner. Takes the inside line, goes a little wide, but it's fine. You know, goes very fast. I mean, this is one of my favorite parts of Monaco, right? That fast left, right hander chicane. What about you?
The first time, absolutely skipping something.
Yep. Yeah. So he comes to the line, goes sixth fastest on that lap. Again, he set that lap on medium tires. As I mentioned before, I think mediums is more or less a test. You know, a test bench, because it's not gonna help you in the race. You know, you're gonna create a train behind you, and it might provoke some rash moves. You know, down the inside at the Mirabeau chicane and all that. So at Casino as well, you know, that's been one of the overtaking spots yesterday. Thermo is on a hot lap again, sets a green first sector, goes 3 tenths slower. Is that relative to his previous time, or is that relative to?
It's to the best time.
Oh, so it's 3 tenths slower than Speedless fastest first sector, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that is an impressive first sector till now. So
Yeah.
provided that his experience. Yeah. Go ahead.
Speaking about Thermo, I think he has like gained a lot of pace, but I think he has been having a lot of incidents in recent races which has like put him out of points contention. And I think that shows like how important, how difficult league racing is. Even if you have the pace, ultimately more than your pace, your consistency is one of the most important factors.
Yeah, when you talk about the long game, especially in tracks like especially street circuits and Monaco most of all, that is one of the biggest factors, right? I mean, you have to be consistent at the end of the day, and that you're not in the. I mean, you can say that tier 1 is the pinnacle of IRC right now, because you did not have. I mean, yesterday we had the race. I was surprised while commentating that there was no safety car at all, right? And not even a virtual safety. I think there was one virtual safety car, I believe. But apart from that, there were no major incidents as such. What you would expect in Monaco. So these guys here, are attempting to do the same, more or less the same, same level of racing here. We have seen considerably. I mean, the first couple of races were a bit, had more reports than ever. But especially the last 2-3 races have been a bit decent, from tier 2 side. So I was really looking forward to tier 2 race specifically, at Monaco, how they handle, how respectful they are, to each other. BlackSheep, I would not drag you into the conversation now, that you have been quiet for a while. Speedless here, we can see like he just joined the tier 2 team, just now. I mean, he got the full-time driver seat at tier 2. What are your expectations? Like, does he have any competition in tier 2?
I think Speedlust is really showing the pace that he has. I mean, we all know that he's right up there in terms of pace. He just forgot to sign up for Tier 1 at the beginning of the season. But it's good to see him with a permanent seat in Tier 2. In terms of who can give him some competition, I'm not sure. I'm expecting the likes of Piyush Gandhi, Abi17, Vortex, maybe the Red Devil as well. We saw him nurse his tires pretty well at Spain, and he seems to have quite a good pace as of now. P6 on the medium tires.
I just noticed that both the Williams have not set a proper lap yet. We have Nirma who's still in the pits, and that's followed by. And I don't know. I think it's Monaco, so I think it might be a completely chosen decision by himself. And we have Charlotte who has only done a 23 on the mediums, so I suspect he has been on soft runs. but he has not been able to set a proper competitive lap time, or perhaps had a couple of contacts with the wall. And
Do you think that could be a kind of this pre-decided Williams strategy? Let's just stay on the last row and wait for everybody to crash themselves out or something.
Could be. And I just noticed something interesting, that Rambo is on T3 with 4-lap old mediums. I mean, like, are we showing are the tires that the tires with the best lap, or the current tires they have on?
This is the lap times which they had the best times. Like the tires that is shown in front of you is the one which they had the best time in.
Okay. So it does seem that Rambo is had 1:11.8 on 4-lap old mediums, and I think, which I find very strange. And I mean, talking about the mediums, like, wouldn't they be like wouldn't the drivers who are qualified in the mediums would be not at a good place in case we have an early safety car? I mean, I believe the hards can do nearly the entire race, and that will basically remove any advantage they have.
Yeah, everybody on the mediums right now will be hoping that there certainly isn't a safety car, at least in the first 7 to 8 laps. Any point after that, I think they should be okay with the hards if they do decide to take a pit stop under a safety car. But a safety car in the first couple of laps will certainly hamper their strategy.
Yep, Harry Rocks, who has not so far improved on his first sector time, and he goes into the tunnel section, followed by, you can see one of the racing points giving way to him there. He brakes, goes a bit deep into the chicane, going to the back. Is he on lap? Because his lap is extremely conservative. But he's not lap.
I think he was very careful with like the corners. His ER is depleting like it's on a hot lap, but now he's going into the pits and he's completely rejected that lap.
Yep. Probably, perhaps they was not satisfied after his first lap. And we have AB17, who is also on a hot lap right now. And I think we have the Alpha Soham there. I think he has not been able to attend quali, so he's joining mid-session. Oh, and we have seen that Dawn has left the session. He's currently sitting in P12, and hopefully can get back into the race soon.
I mean the clock is ticking right now. He has few moments to like join before the race starts.
Yep.
And here we have the Ferrari of RB17 trying to finishing lap. Let's see where he puts his lap time in. And doesn't improve on it.
Improve, yep. I think he was on slightly worn soft. I think his final attempt was perhaps compromised. And I think with worn softs, I think the drop is quite significant in Monaco.
Yes, definitely. And the temps also quite rise up a bit, so that makes it more difficult.
Yep, as we said, we saw Nirma who retired without doing any lap. So quite possibly it's part of the Williams master plan.
One has qualified on mediums and is currently in P11, so I think he's just being on a safer side. I think he really wants to keep it clean, so he's like, why not further start at the back?
Yep.
And he's almost getting stuck by the traffic, and he has to slow down over there. It already looks like they're racing over there.
Yep. And I want to talk about Agopin right now. He is in P6 right now on a keyboard.
Yes, and he was actually going for another lap before he got impeded by the Haas.
Yeah, but I think he would have been on the second row or even potentially the first row without that impediment.
And here we have the racing point of Red Devil, who's also in the final corner trying to get a better qualifying result over here. Let's see where he ends up. Probably looking for a podium spot to conquer, and actually doesn't improve on it.
Doesn't improve, yep. He's on the softs, he's on the mediums. So I think if there is no safety car for the first 7 laps, he is in a very good position to be in. But if there is, there's basically no point. Like he's going to have a bad start. That's the most important factor first of all. Compared to the soft runners.
Yes, definitely. Yesterday's first lap hairpin incident was quite a spectacle to watch. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen in Tier 2 race.
Yep.
Being the supporter of Speedless, I'd like to appreciate what he's done here.
He set a lap with a 10.4, and I think he's 6 tenths off the guy in P2. And
That is, and I'd also like to, we should like Piyush Gandhi is from Challenges as well, and he also is right up there with Speedless, showing us why he could be up for that seat of Tier 2 as well in the future.
I think Piyush is a really quick racer. I've visited him a couple of times, but I think he always gets the hard stick. He always gets the hard end of luck. Like I've seen him like absolutely lead races or like be in P2 or be in contention, but then he has incidents which ultimately puts him out of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this race.
Yeah, that is one thing that in challengers we have faced like till now, like twice or a couple of times. That I mean, even if you're a very good driver, you might end up in a bad situation where you're. I mean, you have the pace, you have everything, but then you're not able to show that thing, to in the race, right? You end up not finishing up there, and then your overall result does not reflect the how good driver you are. And that is one issue that we have faced in Challenger Series. But again, that's the whole point of the Challenger Series, right? You have to fight that out. And today, Piyush Gandhi getting the chance and opportunity to race with Tier 2 boys, I mean, he's right up there. I mean, putting a 1:11.0, that is a blister of lap from his end.
And that is our qualifying done. So Speedless taking the pole, Piyush Gandhi second, War Vortex coming back up to his pace. As we've seen from the start of this season, War Vortex back up again to get some good points today for sure, and maybe even podium. Rambo just behind him with Ferrari behind him and Abhi 17. Abapon in the Mercedes. 7th, 8th, and 9th with Red Devil, Cheesecake, and Harry Rocks in the Ferrari. Second, two Ferraris in the top 10. Nice to see that, with two BWTs also in the top 10. And all the top 10 within 2 seconds of each other, which I hope is going to be a great race today. And hopefully, a
And
safety car.
three drivers, and Ninja, can you scroll down really quickly? I want to see how many drivers qualified on mediums, although it doesn't matter. Only Rambo and Red Devil will be starting on mediums for sure. Apart from that, we have Mother. I'm not sure why Mother did not put on soft tires, because he's a quick driver. I mean, why would he not like to qualify in top 10 and put on soft tires and start?
I think he just wants more like variety of tires. Like he's just trying to pick. Like he's now going to reflect on what tires he wants. Mediums, hard. Like now he has various options of it. So he might also go for hards at the end. But it all depends on like what they choose now. So because turn one incident, very possible. But let's see what happens.
I believe we can open the race director and see which tires different drivers are opting for.
We can see that once the formation lap starts. So
Yes, we have a lot of time. It's like we don't need to rush ourselves in.
We would have that data.
Yeah, it's like we are not the one racing, so we are not like trying to sneak peek into what they're trying.
Something like I didn't realize this till a long time back, that the pits of Monaco is actually facing away from the main straight.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, that's actually quite a unique thing about the track.
Yeah,
Unlike the other stuff.
So if you think about it, if the mechanics look over that wall on the right side, they actually see the cars going in the opposite direction compared to the pits.
Yeah, they see the back end of the track.
The sector 3. They see the sector 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's a free audio, and it's a free seats for the one who live in Monaco. So that's a great one for them.
Yep.
If Interagents have someone like, do they have a window on the other side towards the start finish straight? Do they have?
I mean, Monaco is so small that I feel like even the one who is living very close to the borders can see the race.
I think most of the people who go to Monaco don't buy tickets because I think they only have the paddock pass, and most of the people who want to watch the race get apartments, or like I think there are some hills on the far end they watch.
And let's not forget Monaco, like many rich people stay over there, so I don't think the paddock pass is that.
I think they also watch it from their own yachts that's parked just outside.
Actually, the owners of the flats around the the apartments around the circuit, those people, I mean, they are not living here, right? They just own the property here, but they don't live here really. They're out there somewhere,
Yep.
chilling out in cruise or somewhere. But over here, they just rent their apartment out to the tourists who come in who want to watch the race. So they just rent their apartment to them for the weekend.
That's
So
a pretty
they,
interesting insight over there.
Yep.
yeah. So they don't live here. I mean, they own the property, like just like the drivers, right? I mean, they own the property here. They don't usually live here for most part of the year. So they just rent their property out to someone else, and then they come here and watch the race from those flats and get a good insight of the race. And I think that's how Monaco is rich again. That's one of the ways how Monaco is very rich.
Rack is giving us an amazing insight on Monaco and the people of Monaco.
I mean, he sounds like a Monegasque at this point.
We just
Bit
we
of a
just got,
stretch.
we just got some information that Captain Cheesecake has some technical issues. I hope that you'll be able to fix it and join back.
Yes, definitely. I guess he has some ample of time depending on the formation lap, because this track is very short, so it's gonna end very quickly. So let's see if he joins before that.
Speaking of the game starting, hasn't it been way past a minute? Oh yeah, we just said
Yeah, I
that.
actually quite noticed that it took way more than what we usually wait for.
It's
Yeah.
okay. We have a formation lap coming up, so I don't think even if someone would have loaded earlier, I don't think that's gonna affect the grid as such. But they are readying up. We'll have a very short formation lap here. I want to talk about what is that like? You have the pit garages. You can see that on the left side. What's above that? Like you can see the balconies. What's that? Like is it a marketplace?
I think
when
that's
off race? Is it a marketplace off race? Like when race is not happening here?
usually these are constructed, if I'm not wrong. These are usually constructed before the Grand Prix.
Is
race.
it?
Yeah, most of the pit structures are constructed before the race in Monaco.
Yep. So as I say that we have the formation lap in. Yeah. So can you open the tire data so we can see who's starting on what tires? We can have a look at that really quickly. Yep. So we have a interesting. I mean, everyone outside top 10 not opting for the soft tires. Pretty much expected. I mean, you can say.
Yep. But then again, if you have a safety car in the first lap, it's pretty much nullified. But then again, yeah, of course, because
Yeah, it's nullified because of the fact that half of the grid is starting on mediums.
and
If you're the one doing alternate strategy, then it is beneficial. But if the entire grid is doing the alternate strategy, then the faster strategy becomes the alternate one, right?
Yep.
Talking
We
of
are-
strategies, I think sitting there with cold tires would be our two people who have collided on the track
Yeah.
and gone back onto the grid.
But to add to that, okay, we have Aberpan also and Red Devil also. And for Red Devil, that's definitely going to be a huge disadvantage given that he is on the mediums.
I mean, look at the gap
yeah.
difference in the tunnels. Like, there's a huge difference between the cars.
Yep. And I think in the last race in Spain, I believe we had an incident between Harry Rocks and Anirudh, and my observation was that because both of them had cold tires, like they could not break into T1, and I think that led to a huge incident. Not huge incident, that led to an incident in T1. So definitely having your tires warmed up is very important, especially if you're starting on the hards or the medium.
Yeah. The other two drivers who are going to start on kind of soft, kind of colder tires are Aberpan and Red Devil, who collided with each other. Captain Cheesecake meanwhile did join us back, but then again left the session. So
I
I'm not
mean,
sure
this is.
what-
I noticed this happening since the last week, like in the Spain race as well. Same thing happened. I really hope in the mid race it doesn't happen.
Yep. It could be a connection issue.
So we have a bot empty. I think that is of Cheesecake's Captain Cheesecake's bot, who will be joining on the grid. I'm not sure what is the situation there. BlackSheep, do you have any idea? Like you have faced many disconnection and many connection issues. What do you think about that? We'll talk about that. I mean, we're getting the race started now. We're going to have highlights anytime now. Why? I'm not sure why we are having the yellow flag already, but we're going to have highlights anytime now as drivers line up on the grid. It's going to be amazing turn one, and as Jeff said, no heroics into Santa Water. We do expect that, but we're never sure of
It seems to be a very long wait.
I mean, the lights are also not on yet. I'm not pretty
Yeah.
sure what's exactly happening. I think it's still reading up.
I think the last patch. Oh, we have Aberpan also.
Oh, now we are hearing some revving, and I think those lights are coming out according to him, and it's lights out, and Speedless gets a good start over there, but Piyush Gandhi is right beside him, trying to take the opportunity, and he gets kind of pushed wide over there, tries to join in, but almost gets squeezed.
Yeah, Bawadek got a really good start, and I think Piyush is damaged because I saw him getting squeezed by Bawadek.
Yeah, can we really quick check on Piyush Gandhi if he has any damage, because he lost to one position there to Vortex. Vortex capitalized on that opportunity. I think Piyush Gandhi does not have the telemetry turned on, so we can't see telemetry public, so we can't see how the extent of damage he has on that Mercedes. Given that both Ferraris are, right behind each other, Harry Rock's got a good start. Can we quickly check on the positions change so we can see who gained from the start of the race? We have. Yep, we had drivers following each other very well till now. I don't think there's any major collision. I think Abarpan and Cheesecake lost a lot of positions because of their disconnections. Yep.
And I think for Ferrari this works really well because now they have a driver who can hold back the faster cars behind on the mediums.
Yeah, I mean you are from Tier 1 Ferrari, so you have interacted with them a lot. And if it was not for commentary here, you would have been up there with them, being their race engineer. So what advice would you give at this point? I mean Red Devil already has made move on Harry Rocks on that occasion. So what advice would you give to them?
This can give to them is survive. Like this is Monaco at the end of the day.
Yep, that definitely is. I mean that argument stands for literally everyone. So yeah, coming back to BlackSheep, I mean I wanted to ask you regarding the disconnections, but again we can see Abarpan and Captain Cheesecake just being like on the start finish grid. Not sure. I mean what will happen. I mean if they join back, would they be able to race?
I think they wouldn't because their cars are still on the grid for some reason. It's like a glitch now. It's a new glitch that we came right in front of us.
Yep, I suspect that they won't be able to start, and I think their cars will be like removed from the grid in like a few laps time.
Yeah, it's quite scary if someone is trying to make move on the start finish straight with DRS open and suddenly they see two cars. I mean, okay, Babarpan left the session, so regardless, their cars will be removed off the grid very soon. But we have the Ferrari of RB17 now chasing Rambo. Yep, so it is another one of the gainers here. Okay, gained 5 places. Thermo gained 4 places there. On that occasion, that was an amazing start by him as well. Speedless, meanwhile, setting the fastest lap. A benchmark to get that extra point. Already getting blue flag. I'm not sure what those blue flags are for. Like, I don't think anyone has been lapped yet.
And I think Harry got damaged, and he has already boxed as well as Sobunde. So I think they would both be going on to the hards and going till the end of the race.
Yep. Let's quickly change on to the pit stops graphics so that we can see how many pit stops they have made. Because who has come into the pits and who has not. I can see one Ferrari of Harry Rocks coming into the pits and the Alfa Romeo of Soham Day it is. So only these guys have come into the pits. So I think the wings are intact. Like the damage is not there. Okay, Faizan has damage on the. Oh, was that before that? I'm not sure.
Faizan has an overheating engine right now.
Yeah, Faizan is a bit of an overheating issue. In P13 right now, he will be taking these tires to for a long time deep into the race. But all the drivers around him are on harder set of tires. So again, I mean you go for the alternate strategy when you know that other drivers might not pick that strategy up. But then here everyone outside top 10 is on an alternate strategy.
We can see that Speedless is slowly putting the gap to Vortex. I think it was around 1.3 seconds last lap. Now it has pulled out to 2.2 seconds. Yep, and we're going to Tobacco. You can see Faizan is gently trailing. And we have a very slow moving Vinay. And I think
I had some contact with the barrier, and because of that, the washing powder got caught out a bit, and now he has to slow down.
I think Nirma has damage because I can detect a lot of understeer going into last place. So he does not have damage.
I think he is mainly trying to control the race, not get too close to get a contact with Vinay.
Yep. Okay, I think going to the battle in front. I think the three are keeping pace with each other right now, and I think now it's a matter of like who. Now I think it's a matter of pit strategies, like who goes first. Like that's going to matter excessively in this race.
Because so far it looks like it has been so clean this whole time. Only some wing damages for some cars, but other than that it looked pretty clean, I would say, right?
Yep, I'm pretty sure some of the people who got damaged in the initial lap would be like praying for a safety car right now to gain positions. But of course, you know that the game doesn't exactly give what we want.
I mean, since the damage has said to reduced, I'm not sure if the safety car is that gonna be prominent in this race.
Yeah, I think yesterday we did not have any major incidents. But I think if two drivers crash and if the car is on the middle of the circuit, I think that's the only situation where it warrants a safety car.
Quick question from me to the both of you. What tire do you guys expect the soft runners to move on to?
I believe the hards. I don't. So I think there are two options right now. One is that they can go till like lap 10 or 11, and then box to the what do you call it, mediums, or they can pit really early and box to the hards. And I think from a track position point of view, I would choose a soft hard strategy over a soft medium strategy.
Can't say I disagree.
And looking at the grid, I think we can see that the Mercedes of Aberpen and the Haas of Captain Cheesecake is still on the starting core of the grid. So I have a question. Like when we go through the start finish straight, can we still see the ghosted cars?
I mean, we can still see the ghosted car right now as well.
I'm pretty sure that when someone's pulling an overtake and they'll see this car and they'll like completely react.
It's like they're getting blue flags as well. It's like even the marshals are still abiding to their rules.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for them. Like I'm like it's absolutely unfortunate that they won't be able to race. Of course, both of them qualified in the top 10, and I really hope that they'll be able to get back these points back in the remaining race. And as we see, Vinay doing a shots like Leclerc. Good. And we have Nirma who seems to be.
And he almost tried to take the advantage of that ghosting.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it looks very, very close. This is like too close for comfort.
I think with full damage, Nirma would not have a wing by this point.
I mean, I think Vinay has a lot of wing damage, as you can see. Like, he's not able to even keep up with the car.
Yeah.
And he slowed down so much that now Nirma has tried to take the opportunity, but also hits the wall right now.
Nirma also gets. Vinay aggressively moved to the right side, which meant that Nirma got squeezed into the wall.
I think Vinay is trying to do what Charles Leclerc tried to do in Japan. With the wing damage, he tried to go on with the racing. But here it might be dangerous, but it might be very frustrating for the drivers behind him.
Yep. I mean, like, yeah, and going to the battle front, Speedless has once again pulled a gap. So I think Vortex is able to keep pace with Speedless, but I think Speedless is right now the way more consistent driver. So that is allowing him to keep pulling the gap, and I can imagine that Piyush is also getting very frustrated behind the blue-colored Vortex.
Yes, I mean definitely. I think the kind of a secret to that is clear, and as we see something, Washing Powder gets an overtake down on Vinay, and he gets stabbed by the McLaren, and he goes spin around.
I think Faizan got damaged because I think he was effectively.
Yes, definitely. He tapped him from behind, so he definitely has to have some damage.
Yeah.
And as we see, there was a Mercedes on that part of track. I can't remember which one, but he was stuck for quite a while, and now he's resumed racing. I don't know if he was stuck there or what happened exactly.
Okay, I think either he had an incident while trying to get past Vortex, or because I can also see that Vortex has also lost a significant chunk of time.
Yeah, but Piyush Gandhi definitely has some wing damage, right front.
Yeah.
Right end plate.
Yep. And I think can you say there's damage to P2? No, he's
P2 looks quite good right now.
Yep.
I don't think any damage is there, but I think it was more of a spin-off. And now he has entered the pits to get his wing changed as well.
Yep, and that's going to cost him quite a lot. And so far, we have not seen anyone in the top 10 pit outside of wing damage. And we see Tomo, who now has no wings.
Oh, and he tries for the move around the outside. He did, and he gets it done in the very narrowest part of the track over there.
And without wing damage, without his wings.
And everyone is just now taking the opportunity of what Vinay has, the wing damage, and now he decides to pit over there.
Speaking of the hard strategy, I think this shows the very big disadvantage of the hard strategy, that if you get damaged on the first lap or like first 10 laps before, you won't be able to move to a tire which will go to the end of the race. So you effectively had to make an extra pit stop. So,
Yes, definitely. I mean, the pack is now kind of have spaced up a bit, I would say. But here we
Yep.
can see Harry Rocks trying to chase Thermo, who almost cut the who's actually cut the corner over there and got a 3-second penalty on that hairpin.
We have Ferrari of RB17 who has boxed to the hard, so definitely going to the end of the race. It'll be interesting if he comes out behind one of the faster cars.
I mean,
Ninja? I'm sorry to cut you off, but can you maybe reduce the settings of the game? I think it might be a little choppy.
what is the issue right now?
It might be a little choppy, so maybe like reduce it if you can in our game settings.
Yeah, sure. Why
Graphics.
not?
Like a click down, maybe. That might help. Yep, I think that helps it a little bit, I suppose.
I mean, right now it's actually one more thing is I would point out as this lobby is also not quite stable right now. So I guess that added plus the load a bit is affecting the performance of the stream right now. But
Okay, so something to note is that RB17 has actually come out in clean air after his pit stop, and we have Rambo in the medium who's right now stuck behind a Vortex on possibly degrading the softs. So this is working into RB17 right now because having clean air is so important, so important on this track. Although I believe mediums are potentially the faster tire at this point.
yes, definitely. And now, as you can see, Rambo is trying to get a move on Vortex, who's now, I guess, struggling with his soft tires right now. And looking, I guess he'll look to pit in this lap or the next lap, I would say.
Yep.
Mostly, I would say this lap because he's slowing quite a bit down, and it's kind of maybe frustrating Rambo at this point.
Yep. I think it'll be interesting to look at the tire wear of Vortex and Speedless. So we do know that we do know that both of them are speed, and Vortex is 60% on the rears, and I think that's definitely not going to help him in a track like Monaco. And he
already cuts a huge chunk of that corner.
Yeah, but I think he has got a warning because we haven't seen him get a penalty yet. And looking at Speedless, who's also on very similar, his tires are way better right now with just 50% on his rears.
I think clear air is actually helping him quite a lot to manage his tires.
Yep, for sure. So we have Vortex with pit, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out.
Now all Rambo has to do is keep consistent laps and not stay away from the wall, not have contact.
It'll be interesting if he can do similar to Vettel as he did in 2017 when despite Kimi boxing I think 2 laps earlier, Vettel put an insane in lap at the end to finally overcut Kimi.
Yes, but yeah, that also actually added by the fact that actually Kimi was also not pushing after his pit stop.
Yep.
So yeah, now the gap looks like it's quite spaced out. Like there's no close battles over here. So now it's just a waiting game for everyone. And
we can see that Bauer has actually come behind a B17. So I'm not sure what happened. If I don't know if he gained 3 seconds on a B17, but it does look like perhaps he may have forgotten to use his pit release assist.
Yes, definitely. Like it's very interesting to see right now what the drivers are going through.
Yeah, and I can see that Abhi is now with those fresh hards, and he's now gaining on the medium runners right now with a gap of 7 seconds after his pit stop to Charles, which has now dropped to 6 seconds. And
he's spin over there. His rear has tapped onto that barricade, and he has quite lost a lot of time over there. I think his advantage to Rambo also has quite reduced over there.
Yep. So Vortex, before the race started, he posted a comment on our YouTube chat, "Yo, crushy boy here." So he's definitely staying true to his name.
I don't know if he's getting some reward from that, but doesn't look good in terms of racing.
Yep. So we have Speedless, who is, I think he has not reacted quick enough. I think he's trying to go on the mediums, but he's definitely leaving his pit stop really late.
I think it will be a very bold move to go onto the mediums.
Yeah, he can definitely go onto the mediums at this point. I think his softs, the rears are now going to the limit of what they have in terms of traction. And we can still see that despite those worn softs, he is keeping pace with the much quicker mediums behind him right now.
I feel like he'll try to go into the pits right now. I think it will be too much for him. Yes, he definitely goes into the pits, and now he's probably not going to change to hard tires, or if he's probably thinking of 2 stops over here, which is highly unlikely.
Yep, I think he will come out
Oh,
just
he's
ahead of
actually
Charlotte.
going for the mediums.
Yep,
So
for
it
sure,
looks
for
like
sure.
a definite 2 stop over here, but if he comes behind the traffic, it's going to hurt him quite a lot.
Yep, I think as he comes out, he's going to come out in P4, I believe.
Yes, he's almost gonna get squeezed. Will Charlotte trying to catch him in the right moment? Nope.
No, he's far ahead of Charlotte.
Yes, he's definitely far ahead of
That definitely
Charlotte.
works, yep.
And he actually has quite a good clean air right in front of him.
Yep. And of course, something to highlight is Speedless has joined the championship quite late, so he definitely has a lot of ground to cover. But we can also remember that Tanish, last year's Tier-2 champion, I think joined around 20 quarter of the season in, and he did absolutely dominate the season from that point on to take the championship.
Yes, he has a lot of races to go. Like till now, we are still at the round 7. We are like 1/3 of the season so far, and like this is his debut race in Tier 2 as a permanent driver. So he's definitely showing quite a good impression considering how his Challenger series has gone so far. But yeah, he definitely looking strong for him.
Yep, and we can see that he's already closed the gap significantly to the medium runners ahead, and it will be interesting if these medium runners would now act like a moving roadblock.
Yes, definitely. And now the driver from Challenger series, as you were talking about, one more, Piyush Gandhi, is looking to set a mark over at Tier 2, trying to get a pass on Don, who is currently on the medium tires, a 12-lap old medium tires, and probably may look to pit in next 3-4 laps, but he's still holding Piyush Gandhi quite a lot, who just pitted after his soft stint.
This is not a backmarker battle. This is a 5-5 position, and I see a lot of drivers who always.
I mean, it may not be a battle, but it may quite be frustrating staying behind a driver, even though you're not fighting with him.
Yeah, and I think something that we see drivers a lot of times complain about, like, why are you fighting with me when you haven't done a pit stop? I'm a pit stop ahead of you, but why do you fight with me? But I think people don't realize that at the end of the day, when that particular driver pits, he will be on fresher tires. There is less time lost to him, which could potentially be the difference in catching up and getting that position.
Yes, definitely. Like, you're racing for yourself at the end. So you're not looking after others. Because if you look after others, it's not racing anymore. Then you can just be a safety car at the end.
And we're not halfway into the race, but we do not have any safety cars yet.
Yes, definitely.
So very clean race from these guys. Although we still don't have those Mercedes and Haas, which still hasn't been removed. So we definitely need to ask why the FIA is doing this sloppy job.
Like right now I was noticing Speedless is not using his DRS. Like, I wonder why would that be. Like, do you have any thoughts about that?
I don't know, perhaps. I think the game has a bug in spectator view where like the DRS activation is not exactly shown.
The game really needs some work, man. Like, it's literally Williams at this point. Like, they need a lot of work to be done in this.
Yep, and we have, and as we predicted, we have a racing point which is acting like a removing roadblock for the AlphaTauri, and that is definitely helping the cars of Charles Leclerc and AB17 catch up.
Yes, definitely.
And I think if I was Speedless, I would just relax. He has track position. He's not at risk of any undercut or overcut from any of the drivers, and he just needs to keep a calm head and follow the and keep behind Red Devil and conserve his tires crucially, because in dirty air we do consume a bit more tires, so just keep out.
Oh, we have a sector 2 yellow flags, and we see, and there's a DNF right in front. Oh, Vortex actually again in the same spot actually has DNF.
I'm not sure, did he retire in the race, or because I can't see any of his tires broken.
Yes, his tires definitely don't look broken, because that's not usually a place where you would retire as well. So might be quite a lot of work from stewards now to look into it and see what actually happened over there.
Yep. And if I was Speedless, I would be just like relax, conserve your tires, and once the guys ahead do pit, push your tires and gain the advantage back.
Yes, and right now, as you were saying of doing it clean, Harry Rock's kart hit the wall at the tunnel and broke his end plate again, and he's again struggling quite a lot, especially with the hard tires, which is already not that grippy as the softs and the mediums.
Yep, and I think right now the battle for P1, we expected a battle between Wow Vortex and like Speedless, but given the current situation, it seems to be a battle between Abhi and Speedless. But and especially, I think the main factor is like, will Speedless be able to conserve his softs to the end? And we know that the hards get extremely quick towards the end of the race.
Yes, and as you were speaking, Speedless got a move on Red Devil at the end of the tunnel, and that was obviously a clean textbook overtake. I think it would have been, because that was a clean move and nothing really happened after that. And now he has a clear again, and he's probably trying to increase his pace and try to increase the gap which he had.
Also pitted, so I think Rambo and Charlotte would also be pitting in response. And we do know that Charlotte is Rambo is also one of the part of the medium runners. So I think both Charlotte and Rambo would be reacting soon to the pit stop from Red Devil.
Yes, and at this point of the race now, the drivers will really feel the pressure of trying to keep in the laps and not hit the barriers at all, because now at this point they might be kind of starting to drain a bit of the energy and be like, they might make some mistakes at this point of time.
Yep. I think Harry Rocks is now trying to fend off with those broken wings. And I think something compared to the last game and this game I want to talk about is, like, last game, if we had slightly yellow wings, or even yellow wings, we could be competitive. But in this game, just having lime green wings, the amount of time you lose in the corners is quite significant.
Yes, and as of you were talking about losing, Harry Rocks lost a place to Rebel War over there at last source.
And looking at, and we saw a driver join, and that's going to be very
sorry, my
annoying to the
bad.
driver.
Actually, I made a mistake. It's not last source. Sorry, it's Sandibor. That's where he got an overtake on. My bad.
And right now, okay, we have Charlotte who has pitted, so it'll be interesting where he comes out with respect to the medium runners, I think, which is the racing point.
Yes, and as we see, Thermo and Som, they have already been lapped by the car in P2, which is Speedless. And actually, they are looking on the battle of their own right now.
Rambo has not pitted yet. I think when he boxes, he will come ahead of Piyush Gandhi in P3.
Yes, definitely. So he has a lot of ground to cover, but he will be on the much fresher tires when he comes out of the pits.
Yep, for sure. But I think ultimately in Monaco, if the guy ahead, as long as he does not commit a mistake, or the guy behind does not tap the guy ahead, I think it is quite difficult to pull an overtake.
As you're speaking about mistake, Thermo just hit the wall at the beginning of the swimming pool section, and and he bumps into Som quite aggressively and damages his front wing and then gets back into the pits. Not a good race going on so far for Thermo right there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Rambo is extending his stand up front.
And he gets a 5-second penalty as well. He's waiting quite long.
He's having a nightmare of a race. I think let's go to the grid. Like, what are the battles right now? It seems to me like the grid has spaced out quite significantly.
Yes, definitely. But there is a chase going on between Chalalak and Piyush Gandhi. But Piyush Gandhi is definitely on the much older tires, but won't really make much of a difference. It's still hard tires. Those don't take that long to die out.
Yeah, I mean, the hards are like fine wine. They keep getting quicker. The drivers start becoming comfortable as a fuel load
Yes,
goes
medium
down.
tires are very weird, I would say, because sometimes even after so many laps, you kind of feel like it's actually getting better than it's getting worse.
Yeah, because I think mediums are one of the tires which I have found very inconsistent depending on track to track. In some tracks, they feel really, really great, but in some tracks, like they're not that great. But generally, overall, I think hards have proved to be a very consistent tire across many of the tracks.
Yes, right. And obviously, as we have many compounds from C1 to C5, so that also plays a role in sometimes in this game. But usually it takes more of a role in the real life, as you saw in the Silverstone and stuff.
Yeah, even in Russia we saw it quite a bit today. I mean, I think a lot of the drivers were actually facing significant tire wear issues on the C5 tires. And I think even in this game, I think we have the C5s today, and I think generally speaking, we see that the C5s have extreme issues with the tire controlling their tire temperatures.
Now, I don't know if it's just me or am I seeing High Rocks right at the place where usually you don't want to park your car, but you still ghosted at the end. And we have
I
a
think-
Sector 1 yellow flag.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that, what do you call, when they join the game, they are joining the game, and when they leave and come back, they are not able to take control. The car is stuck in space.
I mean, as we see, this game really needs to be sorted out a bit sooner than we usually, because it's been months now, like couple of months since the game has launched, and still the glitches are getting quite bad, like not even getting better at any point of time.
Yeah, for sure.
And now Rambo pits, and now let's see where he stacks behind.
Yep.
I think he'll be way clear of RB17 at this point, because RB17 is right now he's going to pass the start finish straight, and he's looking. Oh, actually, he's going to be very close, and he almost bumps into each other. That was near miss over there.
That was a heart and tooth moment, because I think Rambo exited the pits very dangerously.
Yeah, it was like a hit or miss sort of situation over there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't lie, but my heart literally jumped out of my.
Like if you were in that place, like if we were in that place, especially if like personally, if I were in that place, I would have completely lost it over there. Like I would have probably raged at one point.
Yeah, for sure. What are the penalty situation of the top three, right? Let's go to the penalties for various drivers right now. So starting with Speed Dust, who has had no penalties up to this point, followed by AB17, who also does not have penalties, and we have Rambo, who has 3 seconds of penalties at the moment, and I believe Piyush also does not have any penalties.
So Rambo does have to make some quite of a gap after overtake,
Yeah.
but he needs to get the overtake done, and this is not an easy task over here.
Yeah, I think Abhi just hit the wall. Can you check if he has damage? Yeah, he does seem to have lime green wings in comparison to Rambo.
It does seem to have damage, but doesn't look very vivid from the broadcast cam.
Yeah, I think there is like slight damage. I think even Rambo has slightly damaged wings on his right.
Ooh, and Rambo tried to go on the outside, but that was a very compromised line, and has to slide back where he was.
Yep. So going through the penalties, we have Piyush who has 6 seconds of penalty. So I think all that battling he had to do, he probably got some penalties on the way there. We have Red Devil who's on 9 seconds of penalties, and I think like something that I hate, not hate due to this game, but circumstances is that when you get a last minute penalty, it bunches up the field, and it basically and that's like the worst place to be.
Yes, and
definitely. Yep.
And one thing is, like when you're in a clean air, then that's the point you can think about not getting a penalty. But when you're fighting with someone, that's the thing that goes completely off your head. Trying not to get penalties over there.
Yep. Yeah, it does seem that Abhi has significant damage, because we can see that he is actually holding up Rambo quite a lot. Okay. So we see. And we see that Faizan and Monk has pitted. Faizan is going into the medium.
Oh, and there was a yellow flag. We saw a Racing Point spun at the.
Oh, and we have red. Yep.
This corner is actually very narrow. One slight tap on the barricade and just lose it completely. Like we saw in previous incident where Vortex also kind of hit the rear end of his tires to the barricade and just completely spun off. And he spins off again, and he gets a huge damage over there.
Yeah, he probably got his tires are probably too hot.
He's in a very compromised place. He has to. And he resets to track. That was a reset to track, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, like I think his tires are too cold. Even just taking Raskas at such a slow speed, you can see how his tires are just sliding all over the place. But again, he has like a huge advantage.
Oh, and here we see Rambo getting a bit impatient, but also Abhi is not able to keep the momentum up, trying to keep block but also hitting the barriers at the same time.
Rambo is really patient, because even Rambo and Abhi has significant damage right now.
And he's holding him quite a lot, and he's holding him in the places where overtaking is like just nearly impossible.
Yeah, and Rambo needs to be patient right now, because this could end up in damage for both the drivers, the way he's trying to aggressively push for a move. And we have Codemasters.
Yeah, definitely. Like, can't catch a break, can he?
Yep.
Can you try joining in again?
Yes,
I
definitely.
think lobby is still okay for now since I'm already in.
Like there are many bugs right now. Like 3 drivers are
Oh
just
my
stuck
god,
on
we
the
just
track
got
for no
introduced
reason
to
at all.
brand new bugs today. This is so bad.
Like
Oh
we
yeah,
should be
we
in
are
the
in.
bugs team if there's something like that in Codemasters. I don't know.
So I think something very weird in that game is that the game uses a point-to-point multiplayer model, which is really bad for a game. Which is a really bad choice for a game where there's a lot of high speed involved. And I think what we are still right. Vinny's taking the test for so long. Okay, and I think we're seeing a big side effect of that.
Like as we see right now, Charlotte is 22 laps behind. That's not quite realistic, I would say.
Yeah, I think going over the line it would update.
Yes, definitely. Like this game is quite slow.
Yep.
Very hard. Very like I know it's very hard to say, but it's quite slow.
Yeah, I guess until everybody crosses the lines once, it won't update
But
correctly.
still from the map, we can still have some idea on who's close to each other. Like we still see the battle between. Actually, not a battle anymore, but we still were watching the battle, and Abhi has to forcefully pit because of this huge front wing damage.
Yep, he goes under the medians. Yeah. But I think he has a gap, and he'll probably come ahead of Charlotte, or perhaps behind. And we do know that Charlotte can Abhi are.
He's definitely gonna actually come behind Charlotte, but he has a huge room behind of him and a huge gap ahead of him as well. So pretty clean air for him, so he can just try to be consistent, try to catch a gap.
Yeah.
And we have a yellow flag. Rambo actually had some incident over there, but does he have a damage? Yes, he does have a huge damage on the front.
Yep. And this just means that with this pit stop.
Oh, and there's one more spin over there.
I was about to say that. Now we're back to the way the thing started at the beginning of the race, with Piyush in P2 followed by Speedless in P1, and at that exact moment he has a spin.
Yes, it's not looking quite good for the drivers. Even the ones.
Oh my god.
This game. Can't curse, Louis.
Wow.
This game is like some headache of its own.
Yep. I actually spent a lot of time on the Codemasters forums, and like they're saying, what they're saying is that it's already September. In October there will be a performance update before the eSports season starts, and at that point they're saying that everything will be solved. But we know, but they've said this at countless times before, and we know how.
Oh, I hope you can join again. Oh, finally.
Yep.
I can't believe this game.
Yep. I mean, I thought that the biggest challenge for drivers would be to not hit the walls, but I think we have now unlocked a new level of Monaco torture. Yep. Looking at has Pierce pitted, because I do believe he had wing damage.
And Faizan gets a fastest lap as well. Pretty interesting over there.
Yes, but he is currently sitting in P10, so getting that sole point. But he has quite a significant damage, significant gap for the car ahead. So, and you can see that attack as so earlier we saw that there was a huge gap, but you can see that Don 29 is in a racing point sandwich. It is a reference to a current situation and not to the real big controversy, we can assure you that. And it seems that I wonder if there are team orders at play with the lead racing point right now being asked to basically push Don back into back so that it's possible for the current racing point to so both the cars can be ahead. Yep. And I think Piyush has significant damage right now.
Yes, now Red Devil is trying to look at an overtake done over here, but it's quite a huge, and he gets bumped behind by washing powder, I would say. And and he gets very wide at the hairpin, trying to keep the gap with Dawn, but he's struggling very much over here, especially when he's getting pressure from behind as well.
Yep. I think Piyush has significant damage because we can see that both the Ferrari and Williams have closed up a lot in the last. I think.
And there's
Abhi was
RG
3 seconds off. Yep.
This is a very weird spot for an overtake, but he manages to block it, and it was quite messy over there.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to have damage. So
Yes, it was. I guess he saved himself quite in the right moment, I would say.
Yep, yep. So we have 10 laps to go in this race, and I think, like so far we have had some quite great action and some quite clean racing. Very surprising that we have not had a safety car up to this point.
Yes, but it's looking very interesting right now since the gap is actually closing between many drivers when we see the interval between the drivers.
Yep. I think Thermo is right now breathing down the gearbox at Soham Day right now. And this is followed by a huge gap to the other Alfa Romeo in front.
And on top of that, there's a huge front wing bit flying. I don't know from whose end it was, but
I think could be Vinay.
It can be Vin actually. He looks like he has a huge wing damage.
Yep.
And he has to back down from the blue flags that he's getting.
Yeah, I think Don did not change his wing in his pit stop because from the beginning of the race I have noticed that he has been having a slight wing damage on the left.
Or maybe he just got a wing damage again. I mean, that can be a possibility since he's very close to the pack right in front and behind him.
Yep, and we have a purpose retirement.
And that is a Haas of Vinay over there. Probably trying to cruise towards the pits but couldn't do that in the time that he had and just went in the barrier.
Yep.
I would say looks like he's having incident like Maldonado also.
Okay, the game is definitely having some major issues as we can see that the lap data timer is not counting up the laps and we are seeing it counting up all the way up to 4 minutes. Yep. Game of the year for sure. So we can see that the train is now forming right now. We can actually see that B17 has actually gotten past Charlotte, and I think Charlotte got damage and he has now blocked.
Yes, Charlotte I guess had to pit because he might have had contact with Piyush Gandhi or probably B17 as well. We didn't catch the glimpse of that, but definitely let's see what happens after when he comes out of pits.
Yep, and I think this is very significant for the championship because we do know that currently the battle is between B17 and Charlotte. So, and B17 had a really bad race in Spain right now, and this will definitely help him close the gap further. Yeah, and we can see that this train that's currently being formed, we can see more and more drivers are slowly joining this train.
And there's actually a small train behind the P2 as well between Piyush Gandhi, B17 and Rambo.
Yep. And you can see B17 trying to put a move into Tobago.
And it's a very compromised line, and he slows down suddenly, which may compromise Rambo quite a lot.
Yep. It kind of shows the challenges of following a car behind. We don't know what they're doing, how they'll take the corner, especially when they are being damaged. This has at the current rate, this will become a 5-car train, and I don't know.
Yes, definitely. Faizan is also going to join in quite soon.
Yeah, I can totally imagine the Alfa Romeo of Monk also joining this party.
And the fact that they're actually on the different compounds as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That shows how difficult it is overtaking Monaco.
Like Rebel is on the hards, Dawn is also on hards, but the pack behind him after Dawn is on mediums. So really compromising the ones who are on mediums right now.
And I'm pretty sure Dawn wants to keep them ahead, keep them behind right now. And we can see a lot of these drivers have a lot of penalties as well.
And so they gives the way to the whole train right behind him. Washing powder tries to go on the outside. That's a very weird part of the place to go on the outside, but still tries to keep his wing clear, I would say.
Yep. So let's go through these train.
Oh,
right
and
now,
Nirma gets a bit of damage already, and now he's getting overtaken while he's being ghosted as well. So,
we have that.
oh, and he tries to capitalize but didn't work, and he
I think
hits.
I think let's go through this particular train. Let's see who is the actual leader of this train.
Oh, and Red Devil is tapping on Dawn, and Nilpa tries to take the opportunity, but spins around at the same time, and it's compromised so many people at the same time.
That is such a reckless move from Red
Probably it
Devil.
was very lucky for Red Devil.
Yeah, and I think the biggest kinder out of that is Faizan, who just overtook 3 cars at all once.
Yes, definitely. I think that was the plan. He didn't try to catch very soon over there. He just trying to wait for something to happen,
Yep,
and he got his reward over there.
I just saw that Rambo has gotten past both Abhi 17 and Piyush Gandhi. And Abhi 17 also has damage.
I mean, at the point where we thought the race wouldn't be interesting, this is what we get.
Yeah, and I mean, I think all the drivers are like, okay, we have incidents happening left and right, but at the moment, like, there is no safety car right now.
Yeah, safety car has not. I think the reduced damage has quite prompted the safety car quite way less than what we used to have back in the previous races.
Yep. So let's go through the penalty situation. The speedless have any penalties? Also, I think it's not going to matter at all, given he's 50 seconds ahead. Nope, it's a very clean race.
Like one more glitch I would like to point out: the moment I actually switched to Captain Cheesecake by mistake, who is the ghosted car on the grid for no reason, then the predicted stop came, like the predicted pit stop strategy over there, and that's obviously not an ideal thing after we are like 33 laps done already.
Yep, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a lot of work. We have Rambo who has 6 seconds, but he is charging with those softs into the distance right now, which is definitely getting off. We have Piyush who's on 9 seconds, followed by Abhi.
The whole lobby has quite gone berserk right now. Many people have 0 laps of tie wear, which is obviously not the case.
Yep, for sure. And we have Abhi who has 3 seconds, so definitely he has a gap to Pierce. He just has to stay with him to get the podium position. And we have Charlotte who's quite a bit behind, but he has moved into the pit window of Abhi. So for Abhi, a pit stop is definitely out of the question. But Abhi and Charlotte are right now championship. The top 2 are right now equal on penalties. So we have Faizan with 6 seconds, followed by Red Devil who has 15 seconds of penalties, and I think more are on the way for the incident on Dawn.
I mean, at this point, it's now before it was a train. Now it's probably a Racing Point sandwich over here.
Yeah, it's all the cars have the same engine, just to know.
Yes, it's a equal engine cars, and no one copied each other. Setup can be copied, but that's a legal thing. That's not something we'll bash about.
Yeah, and followed by Washing Powder, who's on 3 seconds, but he is too far away from the car. But he is getting a point, and I think this is points after his maiden win in Australia.
Yes, definitely. Like now he's quite want to be relaxed at this point, thinking that he just needs to keep it clean, keep it away from the penalty situation from behind front.
Yep, he just needs to have a casual drive with the wind of the sea on his face right now.
Yes,
that's it.
Just a Sunday drive. The irony.
Yep. And we have Monk.
Oh, and there was an overtake done, and he switched back. Faizan switched back on Red Devil and got the place back. Yeah. I think Red Devil was quite too aggressive, so because of that it compromised him, and because of that Faizan completely switched over and took the place back.
Yep, for sure. Going back to the penalty situation, we have Monk, who has no penalties right now, so clean drive from him, and will probably get the sole point. Followed by Don, who is on 9 seconds of penalties. He's out of the points, so he definitely has a lot of ground to make up. Followed by Soham De, who's on 6 second penalties. Followed by Harry. The other 3 cars.
Yeah. He has 35 laps of penalty. Let's say.
Or in limbo.
So right now, as you were speaking over the penalties, I've noticed that Rebel War had quite fell down from where he was because he had compromised himself and I guess hit the ball at the end of the sector 1 where the very narrow barrier comes towards the hairpin. So that's where he quite lost the 2 places that you can see.
I think he will be boxing now, and he may potentially come out in P10. But no, he's choosing to stay out.
I think there's. Oh, and actually, Washington is quite close to him. Not that close, but I don't think the penalty situation will make their places change.
Yeah, but he has red wings, so that's definitely not going to count for him.
Yes, and we can see some bits flying over there, and it's not very clear if it's the car or the graphics of the trees and stuff right there.
Yep.
But as you can see now, Abhi17 is actually quite close to Piyush Gandhi and trying to just look for an opportunity to overtake. Doesn't seem to getting any gap where he can just pounce and just not give his opponent to, get a good line and get a good exit.
Yep, for sure. And I think this is also showing that I think for Abhi, his biggest goal would be to finish ahead of the Williams behind, and like given the championship battle. But I think Charlotte has 3 seconds less penalties than him, and Piyush Gandhi holding him up right now is definitely not working in his favor. I think Charlotte has closed the gap from 12 seconds to 8.8 seconds in the span of the last lap.
And you see, Treble almost hit the 2 walls, a very narrow place over there, and hit the walls, and also made Nirma slow down quite a lot. Couldn't even get around him. Oh, and he again bumps into him, but that was ghosted over there.
Yep.
So this race has been quite interesting so far. And look at Rambo just slicing past on the blue flag, and then he tried to take the advantage over there, but hits the wall and compromises himself, and still trying to look for an overtake, but has to back out over there.
I think Nirma is not helping himself right now because he is getting damage. He's getting damage left and right, and he's moving on to the same ground with the racing point right now.
Yes, and now he may have an opportunity. He has been closer than ever, I feel, in this part. And now, and he just goes right behind him, right behind Relvor. And Relvor retires because he had a huge impact on the wall. And Washing Pod also has compromised and has a huge front wing damage. Probably has to pit. I'm not sure if he's gonna pit, considering there's only 2 laps left. But it actually may compromise him if Mong actually kind of pushes right now, try to catch the gap.
Yep, and with that retirement, Dawn has moved into the solitary point. And I think, among other things, I think Faizan has had his best result of the season so far with the P6.
Yes, and that was a very aggressive overtake move over there, and just goes off where Rosberg has an alleged incident at qualifying 2014, but Faizan comes out clean over there and has jumped a place. Actually, not jump. He's quite defended over the place because there was a moment of overtake over there.
I think Speeder is damaged because Rambo has caught him by 14 seconds in the last lap.
Let's see if he has actually damage over there or he's just keeping it. Oh no, he doesn't have a damage. I think he's keeping it very slow. He doesn't want to compromise a lot by just pushing, trying to guess either the fastest lap or something. I don't think. Or maybe he just actually pitted, which the graphics might not show it, but could be the case over there. Or maybe we can just look at the stops and see if he actually pitted. That could be a probability that he pitted.
Yeah, probably going to fast lap here.
Yes, and now he has this last opportunity of going for fastest lap.
Yep,
so far, and there was a Mercedes spun off at the very same place where Vortex had an incident on, and now he has compromised quite a lot, down to P5. Not a good thing at the very last lap indeed.
I think there was a collision between the Ferrari because even the Ferrari seemed to have picked. Well, it could be that we're not sure. We knew that Abhi was quite pushy in trying to pull that overtake, so perhaps an incident happened.
Yes, probably the pressure got to him, or the contact also had got to him.
Yep, for sure.
I think Speedless is going for another attempt at the fastest lap on his last lap. He's done a personal first sector.
He almost goes wide over there, compromised a bit, and now towards the sector 3, now he has to get a clean, crisp lap over there. He's on the fresh softs as well, so I think he had tried
7 to 8 tenths down on the second sector from his best sector, so I guess he's...
but he definitely comes on the final corner, and gets and crosses the line to win the jewel of the calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix, with P1 right in his debut race in Tier 2, and Rambo 30 seconds behind, yet to now he's going to start his Sector 3. And meanwhile, Red Devil is quite close to washing powder Nirma. Oh, and he has the same deja vu sort of situation, but the cars were reversed over there, and now, but not a huge damage over there, and he couldn't get a move done over there.
Let's go on about P4 right now because I think they are fighting till the end. Oh,
And it could be a battle for P3 over there. Let's see who seals the final podium spot over there. So Rambo has crossed right now for P2, and now Abhi17 and Shalak are gonna cross the line. Let's see who takes the podium point, and it's Shalak who jumps from the penalty situation that Abhi17 had, and he drops to P4. And Piyush Gandhi, who was almost gonna end up in the podium, has come back to P5. Not a good race from him. He only had one lap to just hold on to it, and he quite couldn't keep up with it. And any other jump we have seen? I think washing powder Nirma actually DNF'd.
DNF'd, but I think he got lapped.
But the thing is, he is now in P10. He's still in the point finish at the end, and he has completed 90% of the race.
So it's similar to the McLaren in 2019 Belgium. Norris.
And there we go. The race over for the Monaco Grand Prix over there. That was a quite interesting race.
Very chaotic race.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't expect. We were noticing that it was going quite well at some point, and then it kind of went downhill after that.
I'll go and try to get our podium finishes here on a chat. Speedless, I think, is with us.
Speedless, Abhi17 and...
No,
not Abhi17, sorry. Shalak and Rambo should be in the podium for the commentary right now. And speaking of that, Masoom, who was your driver of the day?
I'll get these people.
I think it's Speedless, absolutely, because he dominated from start to finish. He did not make any mistakes. I think like his performance was similar to what happened in Tier 1 yesterday, and I think he lapped nearly up to P2 or P3. And if he hadn't pitted, I think he could have been potentially lapped all the way up to P3.
So and what about you, Casey? Sorry about that. What about you, Casey?
What was the question?
Who was the driver of the day for you?
I would say a dominating performance by Speedless. So for me, I would it would be Speedless. I'm not sure what our fans chose.
Like personally, I would give it to Shalak from P12 on the grid to P3. Just quite a spectacle, like performance over there, right there, and especially on the track like Monaco, which you probably wouldn't expect to jump so many places. Actually, it's quite possible, but still, at the end, it has to be commendable because you have to keep your nose clean to get that position.
Well, we have all these three drivers to answer the questions so Speedless, our race winner.
Hello. Hi.
How are you feeling?
Very good. I was actually practicing a lot of Monaco. I was making a lot of mistakes in practice, but today I didn't make any mistake. I didn't lose any wing. I didn't get any warning. It was a perfect race for me.
Started and then you were never seen. You were at your absolute best today, I have to say.
This was one of my best race in my career, I guess. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one actually.
It was really good, yeah.
Actually trying fastest lap. Did I get one or no? I guess Rambo got it, right?
I think I'm not quite sure about the fastest lap.
I was trying at the 39th lap, which was last lap. I went for the pits and I put new softs and I tried. I guess I didn't get it. I was messing up a lot of corners, I guess. I don't know. Let's see.
It was still a great race and congrats again on your race win. Really dominating performance.
And the matter of fact, this is my first lake race win,
Yes. That was really good. Moving on to our podium finishes, Madhav and Rambo. Madhav, are you with us?
Yes.
How are you feeling and please tell us about your race.
I don't really know how to feel right now because it looked like it was going well, and then that unfortunate incident with the Mercedes, and then so from there I decided to go on to mediums because there was still about 11 laps remaining, I think, and softs wouldn't last that long, so I went on to the mediums. And from then on, I was just pushing, and then on lap 38, I was 5 seconds behind Abhi 17, and then on 39, I was 2 seconds, and then by the end of 39, I was right on his gearbox. So I was pushing really hard towards those final few laps.
You definitely gave your best today, and I think the result shows it. You getting on the podium today. So congrats for that.
Thanks.
Ninja, you have any questions for our driver here?
I mean, Rambo is in the commentary as well, so I think we need to ask him how his race has
Oh yes,
gone as well.
Rambo.
So
Moving on to I'm not. Hello, Rambo. Are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Oh yeah, we have him with us. How was your race? Please tell us about it.
Actually, it was not that difficult. I was about, I mean, I was trying to keep it clean without any damage, but this guy Abhi in front of me was moving. I mean, like he was not giving me way, so I got the first damage because of him, and I had to pit for the second time. And I have to thank my teammate Faizan. We were planning before that we need some points for McLaren, and we did it. So I had to thank him.
Yes, McLaren, both of you guys getting some really good points. You, I think, really needed that boost today, and really great performance from all three drivers, should I say?
Yeah, thank you.
Right, fine. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for joining us in the commentary. Ninja, anything you would like to add?
I mean, at the end, it was a very amazing race to see in tier 1, in tier 2 as well. So, and next week we are gonna have the round 8 of Baku Grand Prix in tier 1 and tier 2. So do tune in for that. And we have a Assetto Corsa Competizione race at Nürburgring, which is a very interesting track. I would say very historic track over there. So
Really waiting for it.
that will be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. So do tune in for that as well. And as of now, we'll head out and hope you guys have a great weekend and good night.
It's almost the end, but
yeah, almost the end of the weekend, but you can still have fun.
enjoy the last few hours.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for watching.